Ground, Cessna Victor Bravo, radio check.
Cessna Victor Bravo, this is ground. You are loud and clear.
27. I'll be 27. Ground, Cessna Victor Bravo, request taxi to runway. Oh, my mouse. Ground, Cessna Victor Bravo, request taxi to runway.
Cessna Victor Bravo, taxi to runway 27 via taxiways Charlie. Charlie 1. Hold short runway 27.
Taxi to runway 27 via taxiway. Charlie 1, hold short runway 27, Cessna Victor Bravo.
Cessna Victor Bravo, taxi to runway 27 via taxiways Charlie. Charlie 1. Hold short runway 27.
Taxi runway 27 via taxiway Charlie 1, hold short runway 27, Cessna Victor Bravo.
Cessna Victor Bravo, contact tower on 118.3. Good day.
118.3. Contact tower on 118.3, Cessna Victor Bravo. Tower, Cessna Victor Bravo is holding short at runway 27.
Cessna Victor Bravo, this is tower, go ahead.
Tower, Cessna Victor Bravo is holding short at runway 27.
Cessna Victor Bravo, winds are 239er at 9er knots, altimeter 3003, cleared for takeoff. Runway 27, squawk 1200.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 27, squawking 1200, Cessna Victor Bravo. Is that 1200? Yeah. We're just doing a VFR flight just to get in the air. Man, my window's messed up. Still.
Approaching 27. On runway 27. Height 50 feet. Height 200 feet.
on autopilot. Bingo.
Height 1,000 feet.
And let's check it. A little farther over. Yeah, let's take it to. And whatever. Darken this a little bit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to do a quick flight, get this thing in the air, and do a little few-minute VFR flight because my basic concern was to turn this thing off for a minute and then put a lot of emphasis on my chair. As I said, I hadn't turned this thing on in a while. I just wanted to get it basically in the air. I want to show some of my friends my chair here that I got acquired a while back. I haven't been able to utilize it properly with anything but Flight Simulator because of the positioning, being that my room is so tight for space. I can't do anything. This thing didn't have any wheels on it at first. Let me get this out the way. When I first got it, it had no wheels. But now, thanks to one of my buddies, Robert McIntyre, he told me about putting caster wheels on here and some seat clamps, which I did right here. So now I can move this thing back and forth freely. Before I couldn't do that. This thing was pretty much stationary. So I've been utilizing this for Flight Sim 2020 with the VR glasses. I can't utilize 2020 with my simulator here because it's still not multi-screen compatible. Although some guys got it to work, but they won't be opening. They won't tell me how they got it to work with multi-screen. So I'm not even going to sweat it. You know, I'm just still using X-Plane 11 when I come in here about once every other month or so. I just fire this thing up, and that's all I really do. Because I'm putting more emphasis on racing now. That's what I'm really into. Have the chair, which is motion. That comes off easy. That comes off easy. I put the wheel on, pedals. I built a frame stand to hold my 3 monitors. Built them out of wood. I had wood left over from when I built this simulator here, and the simulator that I built for my flight school for the kids at our community center. That's the left side of it. That's the other side. Well, one is left, one is right. I put wheels on the bottom. And then there's wheels on that one. This is the primary stand right here that goes in the center. It only took me like a couple of days to build it. And I'm going to put this thing together after I do this, my racing simulator, and make a video of the actual race. I like it. This here is fun, but done it for a long time. Like I said, I just come here to cut this thing on, basically, get in the air. And I'm going to put this up, which is a lot of fun. Oh yes, and I also forgot to mention Pilot2ATC, which is what I have down here on this monitor on the floor. It's a good little tool. As I said in the past, I have a hard time talking to controllers. I'm just not good at it, so I just utilize Pilot2ATC. just talk basic commands and they recognize your voice and they talk back, give you the appropriate commands to utilize. And I love it. You can do flight following, all kind of stuff with Pilot2ATC. It's really great. Well, those graphics look pretty good. Flying over San Diego. Rig. Running the H3 chair, running the Thrustmaster TMX wheel with the T3PA pedals down here. This wheel and pedal is pretty good. It's not a direct drive wheel, but it's a gear / belt drive wheel. And I'm being honest with you, I've never driven a direct drive, but this thing is really good. I mean, I can feel the force feedback is pretty good. Now, compared to a direct drive, I don't know. I never had one. I plan on getting the what's it called? The Fanatec DD, the Fanatec CSL DD. That's the one that's coming out in November. It's supposed to be reasonably priced at $350, and I believe it starts out at 5 Newton meters with a boost kit, 8 Newton meters. Something like that. You know, give you a better feel. There's a guy named Boosted Media that he does a review on the whole wheel and actually test it out. I'm going to put a link below. But that wheel's supposed to be pretty good. The number one thing is affordable. It's $350 it starts at, roughly around there, American dollars. But anyway, the wheel I have now is great. I mean, I'm running races like Long Beach. I never thought I'd be able to utilize Long Beach with this rig. Took me a while to really get it, because I was treating this thing as a game, but I come to find out you have to really treat this as a real car. You have to drive it like you're driving a real car to really get any progress from it. But there's my 3 screens. I built my monitor stand myself out of wood. These are bookshelf ends right there. I just cut them in half. Just cut them in half, put screws there, and it slides back and forth like that. I did my measurements accordingly to how high it should be for me to have a good visual sitting in the chair, whatnot. Did my homework. So I mean, that's basically it. And my room is still it's tight in here. I mean, there's my simulator. The chair was over there, but since I was able to put wheels on it, I was able to roll it over here and then set it up. And being that the monitor comes apart, it's just 3 screws right there on one end, 3 screws right there on the other end, and the monitor stand comes apart. It's in 3 sections. Then all I got to do is just roll this back over there, and everything's cool. I still have my throttle quadrant connected over there. It's a pain to get off and on. I just left it on there, and that's it. I'm gonna do a race here shortly. Oh yes, the brakes. I forgot to talk about the brakes on this thing, on the brake pedals, the throttle and the brake pedals and the clutch. They are potentiometer. I guess that's how you pronounce it. They have 3 types of potentiometer. I can never pronounce that word. Then load cell, and then Hall effect. I don't know what the other 2 are about. I've checked them out on YouTube and read what they're about, how they work, but I don't know how they really feel. This brake here, the one I have, the T3PAs, I when I first started using them, I was like, this can't be right. I mean, I was all over the place. I was braking like terrible. But come to find out, they have a little rubber grommet you slip in behind the brake to give you more resistance. And man, did that thing make a difference. Now I'm like, wow, this thing is really good. It's almost like a real brake. So I like it. This has been really a good experience. This rig here. There's a gap there, but when you get in front, I gotta slide it further because I was get in front when I film. It's pretty cool. Now the biggest problem with this, the rig itself is great. My main sim I'm using right now is Project Cars, and then Automobilista 2. Good feeling with the chair, force feedback. Problem I'm having, camera position. Trying to get a good camera angle with this thing is extremely hard. No, I understand it. I've seen other people's YouTube page and listened to them talk about camera angles, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I got it now. Yeah. Oh, and one other thing. This thing does get hot, just like that gets hot, that box, because you're 3 screens and you're in a box, you get extremely hot in there. Because this is open space, excuse me, you still get hot. That's why I had to put a fan up there. I have a fan in my ceiling and a fan down here, and I have central air, and it still gets hot in here with these 3 screens. So with that said, I'm gonna do a quick race. Guys, my butt kicker is way too high. It's rumbling really hard.